What's up, guys? I'm Chris, and today you're watching a magic review on I.S.P by Kaleb Wade. Welcome to the channel, and thanks for tuning in. Please consider subscribing, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you don't miss a video or a review. Alright, so today we are looking at I.S.P by Kaleb Wade. So I.S.P stands for Impromptu Sensory Perception. Now, this is a download, or it's an ebook that you can pick up, which will allow you to do a completely impromptu ESP style routine, or multiple routines. This is basically the perfect everyday carry because they are unprepared business cards, or billets, index cards, blank face playing cards. It doesn't matter, whatever you want to do, but essentially you carry a stack of business cards, and when you want to perform something, you can make these up on the spot. Now, the routines that are included are absolutely brilliant. They're extremely powerful. I would go as far as to say that this may just likely replace all of your existing ESP work. So to start things off, I'll just cover what you get, and what you get is an ebook that explains how to make these and the ways to go about making them so that you're able to do each phase with 100% accuracy. Now, these are unmarked, right? They're just your standard business cards. You have 8 symbols. So I'll show you my stack. I have some alternative symbols just because there are some that I don't care for, and that's nothing against the way that this is made or developed. Just certain symbols, like I don't like hexagons, so I didn't include one here, but I included something that works. Kaleb has an alternative option. I also have an alternative option, so I'll go over that. But you have a circle, a cross, triangle, or you can do wavy lines. Sometimes people like to use the wavy lines. A square, a star, a half moon, which for me replaces the hexagon. Another one that I also alternate with is this, which is just a spiral. It'll work the same. An arrow and a heart. So you have 8 symbols. So rather than your standard 5 symbols, which you would usually have 2 sets of 5 and perform matching type things, you can do actually a lot more with these, and I think having 8 instead of 5 is actually a lot more powerful. Now, like I said, these are unmarked. So with that, if you aren't carrying your business cards on you, but you're performing for somebody, or somebody wants you to do something, you can ask them, do you have business cards? If they give you theirs, this will work the same as long as they're blank back, or at least a design where you have space to make all the symbols. Alternatively, you could even fold a regular sheet of paper into 8 sections, tear it so that you want all the pieces to be of the same size so that they can't say, oh, that one's bigger than that one, that's how you knew. Anyway, there's so many ways that you can do this. So let's go over some of the routines. So the way that you'll start this off is you will mix up or shuffle the stack of cards. There's a little bit more to that, but essentially it looks like you're giving the cards a mix. From there, you will spread them out. Participant will select one. You can be turned away the whole time, and then you can divine that card. That's the first phase. Next, you will do a dribble and have your second participant just shout stop at any time. And what that does is that eliminates the thought of you maybe forcing a card, if that's something that lay people think about. Now, I should mention this first routine involves 2 participants. Anyway, so you'll dribble, you can be looking away, they say stop, you define that card. After that, I think things get a lot stronger, because what you're going to do is you're essentially going to give half the cards to one participant and half to the other. From there, you can be turned away They will mix up the cards, each select one symbol, and then you turn back to them. The stacks are shuffled again, and from there, so the third phase, you take one card out, place that down, ask participant one what symbol they're thinking of. They will say what it is, and when you turn that over, it'll have matched, right? So finally, you give all the cards to the other participant. They shuffle the cards up. Again, you're turned away the whole time. You do not touch anything from this point on. They can shuffle up the cards, and then you'll have them, you mentioned how, would it be impressive if I could go through and find your selected shape? They'll say yes, but then you say, I've already done that. With this one, I want you just to think of your symbol. I'm not going to touch the cards or anything. They think of their symbol, and you reveal it however you want with 100% accuracy. You've been turned away. You haven't touched these. It is so clean, so fair, and it looks and feels like real mind reading. So that is the main routine. Next, there's a routine. So the first one was ISP. Second one is ISSP, which is Impromptu Sensory Perception. So this is primarily quite similar to the first one, but rather than using two participants, you only use one. This one uses a slightly different method. Now, I should say right now, all of these routines are extremely simple to do. Very, very easy to do. There isn't memory work. You're not looking at markings because these are unmarked. But Kaleb has taken a number of different principles, subtleties, and methods and added a whole bunch of layers so that this seems extremely fair, very deceptive, and, for lack of a better term, impossible. So with ISSP, the first two phases are the same as the previous routine that's been outlined. Now, with the phases, both 1 and 2, in the second phase, Kaleb uses his bracelet as a pendulum just to kind of change up the presentation, add another layer to the whole routine. Anyway, the third phase here, you give all the cards to the participant, they shuffle them up, select a card, they're shuffled again, and with that, there's a way that you know exactly which card they selected. From there on, you're going to deal out the 8 cards, and this is where your participant becomes the mind reader, because now you are going to eliminate 7 of the cards, leaving you with only 1. And when I say you, I don't mean you, I mean the participant. They're going to eliminate 7 cards and be left with their selection. So again, that turns participant into mind reader, but it also seems extremely fair because all the cards are face down. They're obviously not marked, right? And you can be using their cards. So that's, if you can use somebody else's cards to do this, I would recommend it because then they know there's no markings. And I mean, they're business cards, so nobody's really going to expect markings. But with that, all the cards are face down. They make the choices, ending up with only their selection. So that's ISSP. After that, you have a routine called MIST, which is a prediction routine. So this one kind of works out to be like a game experiment type thing. So there are basically 3 rounds that will go on. You have the cards in piles. They will go through a number of steps. I'm not really going to go over the steps or instructions for your participant because that could kind of give away some of the method, but they will decide which pile they're going to use. First round, there are 3 choices they will make. Second round, 2 choices. Third round, 1 choice. Ultimately, after they've made all their choices, you have 6 cards that have been discarded, and you have 2 cards that remain. Once you have 2 remaining cards, you reach into your pocket, bring out your wallet, open up your wallet, and you have a prediction. The prediction matches the 2 remaining cards. Now for a kicker ending, you can open it up further or turn it over however you decide to make this. There are instructions on the best ways to go about that, but you also, as a kicker ending, you reveal that you have also predicted all matching discarded pairs. So I don't know if I am explaining that very well or describing it very well, but basically you end up with, you've predicted the outcome, and then the kicker is you've predicted how all the discarded cards would also match up. And finally, you have a routine called Mystify, which is essentially the same thing as Mist, but I think the presentation idea here was to be used in like a parlor or stage. However, you could do this close up as well. But the difference is that instead of pulling the prediction out of your pocket or wallet, this is an open prediction. So the prediction can be hanging up on stage, it can be on the table already off to the side, but it's there the entire time in full view, and ultimately it doesn't get moved or switched, but it ends up matching the same outcome as the previous routine. So lots of really great things. Now throughout the ebook, you are going to get obviously all the routines, but Kaleb's experience. And, in all the previous reviews I've done with Kaleb's work, the book tests, the other ebooks, Occult, his experience and tips is worth, more than what you're going to pay for this project. I've always been able to take away a lot from Kaleb's thinking, whether it's just little subtleties he's using or some of his performance tips. I also really enjoy reading all of his work because it's entertaining. He's a humorous guy, and I think you'll enjoy this entire project from reading how it works and all the other information. Now with that, for those of you who own Occult, there are some similarities here, but Occult was obviously a designed and manufactured deck of modern ISP symbols. Those have 5 different symbols which are repeated twice. The difference here is you have 8 symbols, you don't need any to be repeated. And I.S.P. allows you to do a number of things that you can't with Occult. Occult is still great, I love it, but one of the things that Kaleb mentions is after Occult had come out, he had thought of some things that he could improve upon, as well as make stronger by adding a few more symbols. So if you own Occult, this is still definitely worth picking up. Now, even if you don't use the routines exactly as they're presented, I think that there is enough in this ebook that you will also take some of the tips and presentations, as well as different parts of method, and use them to existing work if you have other things that you just don't want to stop doing. I still think there's a lot here that people can take away from. I've tried to describe the routines as best I could without really saying anything about method, because there are a number of methods and principles used, but I don't want to give anything away because it's all very clever, but the simplicity of it could be determined if I say too much or almost anything about methods. So we're going to leave it at that. So difficulty level, like I mentioned earlier, in short, all of this is extremely easy to do. There's no memory work. There's no mathematics. There's not even having to read markings, right? There's no marking system to learn and have to look at. That's one of the beautiful things about this is for a lot of this, it's, should I say self-working? Some of it is, but you can be turned away almost all the time for the majority of this. And a good portion of this is also hands-off, which makes it seem so much more fair because, people can't suspect sleight of hand or anything suspicious because it just isn't there. Angles. This is all angle proof. There's nothing to worry about there. Setup and reset. There is like a brief setup and reset. I won't say any more than that, but the setup and reset will take you all of a few seconds. Arts and crafts, and can this be inspected? So arts and crafts, not really, no. You make up the cards on the spot. You can carry these with you, but that's The whole point of this being a perfect EDC and impromptu project is that it doesn't need to be made up. They don't need to be prepared. So I guess if you want to call that arts and crafts, then you can. But I think, to make these up, it took me 30 seconds. So, I don't think that's a long time, even if you're doing it in front of your participant, because they're seeing the symbols as they're being made. It kind of ups the interest before you even get into the effect. Can it be inspected and pocket space? So you're going to be carrying your business cards on you anyway. It's not taking up any additional pocket space. Can it be inspected? Yes. I mean, they are going to be handling these the whole time. They will see you making them up. This is so innocent. There should be no thought of them being special business cards, really. Is it a worker, and who would use this? So, I think that this is great. I think that, this isn't primarily designed to be a worker, or maybe it is, but I just mean this was created to be used at a moment's notice when you have nothing on you, you're not carrying anything. So, is it a worker? It very well could be. Everything in here is extremely strong. This is stuff that I would definitely use in my working set. Personally, this will replace what I already do as far as ESP routine type things go. I think that this is, for me, the best out there. So yeah, you can use it in your working gigs. It's more than strong enough, but I think that this is also something that will get you working gigs because, who wants to be the person that somebody finds out what you do and you say, I don't have anything on me, right? If you can do something as powerful as this, you can probably expect to be hired for it. So what's the price, and is it worth your money? So the ebook will cost you £22, which, again, I don't know the exact conversion. I'm in Canada. A lot of you are in the States. I think it converts to around $30. Is it worth your money? Even though you're not receiving a physical anything, this is something that you will use, and it's something that you should know, because if you learn this, you're never going to be caught off guard. You're never going to have to say, I can't do anything. This is the perfect thing to have up here so that you're always ready to go. I feel that this is more than worth what you're paying for, as with all of Kaleb's stuff. And like I said, not just the routines included, but every little bit of information and all the little extras that Kaleb includes, that go above and beyond what you're getting with the routines included. So yeah, this is definitely worth the price. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. This is one of my favorite releases from Kaleb, and I think I've done quite a few now, and I absolutely love this. So with that, I don't have a whole bunch more to say other than I know there are a few places you can pick this up. You can go directly to Kaleb's website. I'll leave a link in the description below. And I did see that Black Cat Magic is also selling this. So you can take your pick, but definitely go check this out. Go pick it up. You will not be disappointed. And you will definitely, if you take the time to learn this, which it won't take long because there's not a whole bunch to really have to learn, you will definitely use it. And you will use it a lot, and you're going to love it. So with that, thanks for watching, and we will see you at the next review.